Long sleeves are back, bib tights are back. It's cold, I've been cold all week. You're probably a week behind me now, but yeah, end of September. We've had some bloody awful weather this week. Obviously it's really nice today, but it's dropped a lot of degrees in the last week and a half. And it's come to winter. Not winter, it's not winter. Refuse, it's not even autumn really, but yeah, I'm just sat cold. But as is my usual on a Friday afternoon, and I'm just going for a gentle poodle. But today I would like to discuss diet, because it's something that keeps cropping up in my conversations with humans and online. I just want to give you my take on it really, more than anything else. Right, let's get a few miles out of the way first, and I need to stop somewhere private for a moment as well. Okay, so onto the title. For the last 4.5-ish years or so, I have been plant-based, or should I say majority plant-based. First thing I want to say on that is it is different to being a vegan. Being plant-based does not mean I'm a vegan. That's a common misconception for some reason. I still wear leather, stuff like that, and I still eat honey on my porridge in the morning with coconut milk. It's the best thing ever, it really is. And I see a lot of questions regarding, where do you get your protein from? It's really bad for you. And stuff with ultra processed foods and what have you. And yes, there's an argument for lots of these, but the main reason I went for this years ago was I saw that a lot of the endurance runners, ultra endurance runners were plant-based, some of the best in fact. And some top athletes like Novak Djokovic, he's been plant-based stroke vegan for a long time. Even Katie, she's a vegan. Katie Kookaburra, she's done some immense cycling events, Audaxes, All Points North, stuff like that. To go into slightly more detail, I say majorly for a reason. In fact, before I do that, excuse me, one of the other major reasons is because for 41 years of my life, I've basically had a cold or a runny nose or hay fever-like symptoms. And a lot of that, not with testing, but just trial and error is the best way to describe it, was because of dairy. Literally days after cutting out dairy from my diet, it stopped. It's literally transformed my life, it really has. Dairy it's really bad for the human body at the end of the day. We're fed it from birth near enough, and we learn to adapt as human beings because we're very good at that. So that's the main reason. The other reason that I wanted to explore at the time, it was only going to be a very short term, sort of 6 months kind of experiment with myself. I was running a lot of the time, and it honestly helped me recover so much quicker. So I just had to stop and clean you up a bit. That's better, is it? I was all hazy inside the lens. So yeah, coupled with empirical data from just looking at other athletes, my seeming intolerance to dairy, and the fact that I was recovering quickly, I've stuck to this diet. But going back to what I was saying before about majorly, every now and again, oh here we go, look, the views are back. Every now and again I will have something with cheese and meat in it, a burger, a pizza, something like that, because long term I don't want to become intolerant to any of these things, just in case, and it happens, I go somewhere and I can't find anything that I like to eat that's vegan, I say vegan because that's how it's. Or if I'm at someone's house and they're cooking for me, I'm not turning, you know, I don't want to make a fuss and make people cook something special. You know, it's happened a few times, and even last year on my challenge, people were cooking for me. You just eat what's put in front of you, don't you? End of the day, it's fuel. It really is. So, and let's be honest here, meat is tasty. Everyone knows that. So they're very, well, I'm going to say puerile attitude of, oh, meat, bacon, yeah, it's lovely, miss it loads. I miss cheese loads. But it's sacrificing something for the sake of my health. So that's all good. I'm just going to get up over here and go on to the next little thing about nutrition. And absolute world that you can get involved in. So, nutrition. It's an absolute bloody minefield, isn't it? It really is. There's countless channels out there and videos telling you that you need to eat this, you need to consume that, powders, gels. Just, it can be extraordinarily confusing, and how people are supposed to get on and do it is beyond me, because everything that's brought out is better than everything else. Everyone's nutrition plans are better than everyone else's. So I despair sometimes, I really do. So here's my take on it. Afternoon. Now, the science, if you listen to the scientists on it, they say you need to consume X amount of carbs per hour per kilogram of body weight. So it's all well and good, but at the end of the day, what does it actually mean? Because you could spend forever measuring out, putting exactly what you need in your pockets, setting times on your watch or setting times on your head unit. But at the end of the day, we're just out trying to enjoy riding our bikes. We're not top level athletes. I'm certainly not. So here's my northern normal practical take on it. I can't be arsed with all the faff. I'll go out and I know how far-ish I'm going, because plans can change on the hoof. I'll put a certain amount of food in my pocket, whether it be, I don't know, sandwich, Trek bar, mint cake, that's always there, there's a just in case measure. And just go out, ride my bike, 2 bottles, depending on how far I'm going. I'll have a small, a big, 2 small, 2 big mix. But generally, if I'm going more than, midgets, bloody hell. If I'm going over 2 hours, I'll take some of the Applied Nutrition electrolyte carb powder, because that's what I'm used to. And that, at the end of the day, is how I see it. Get used to what suits you. Now, obviously I did this ride last year with 142 miles a day, 8 days. I think I've had about a kilo of midget since I started this little bit. Bloody hell. I'll come back to you in a minute. Well, that's better, sorry about that. That was awful. It was about 3-4 minutes of just wave after wave of midges. It was horrible. Just clouds of them. So, as I was saying, my ride last year, 142 miles a day, there or thereabouts. And I wasn't planning any food into detail. I was just eating before I got hungry. Whether that be Trek bars, sandwiches, mint cake, drinking the fluids, pot noodles, crisps, whatever. Obviously some food is worse for you than others, isn't it? You know, saturated fats and all that malarkey. But you've got to offset that with your mental game. If you're really struggling and you're on a day 6 of a ridiculous journey on your bike and you're craving a can of Coke and a Mars bar, you're going to want a can of Coke and a Mars bar. The psychological lift that something like that gives you is huge. As far as I can see, and I am unapologetically unscientific about that, about all of this, is just eat. Fuel is great, but diving into all of this data to the nth degree doesn't really matter unless you're top level and you're competing for every last watt. And that is not what I am doing. I'm a distinctly average human being who's a distinctly average cyclist who's just trying to do something arduous to raise money for his lad. Does that all make sense? If you've got any comments on this, please do let me know, because I mean, always open to suggestion, but long story short, I cannot be bothered with all the faff of weighing out, measuring out. I'll just go out on my bike, take some bottles, and take some mint cake. Short ride today, so that's just there for reserve. Just get out and enjoy it. At the end of the day, we're all here to have a nice time on our bikes, aren't we?